I spoke to 100 people who saw the Hat Man, different countries, different ages, different backgrounds. None of them knew each other. And they all described the exact same entity. Same height. Same hat. Same coat. Same behavior. But that's not what shocked me. What shocked me is what they all said happened after. The changes in their lives. The patterns. The coincidences. Things that can't be explained by hallucination alone. In the next 16 minutes, I'm going to share what I learned from these interviews. The commonalities. The outliers. The impossible details. And by the end, you'll understand why the Hat Man might be more than just a sleep paralysis entity. Because something is connecting these 100 people. Something that started the night they saw him. And it hasn't stopped. Before I tell you what I found, I need to explain my methodology. Because if I just threw out random claims without evidence, you'd rightfully dismiss this as paranoia. So here's what I did. I posted on sleep paralysis forums, Reddit, Facebook groups, asking for people who'd seen the Hat Man to contact me. I got over 300 responses. I filtered out anyone who couldn't provide detailed descriptions. Anyone whose story seemed embellished or inconsistent. Anyone who admitted to drug use or diagnosed psychiatric conditions. I wanted clean data. Reliable witnesses. People with nothing to gain from lying. I ended up with 106 people. I interviewed 100 of them via video call or phone. Recorded everything with permission. Asked the same questions to everyone. When did you see him? Where were you? What was he wearing? How long did it last? What happened after? And then I analyzed the data. Looked for patterns. Looked for things that shouldn't be consistent if these were just random hallucinations. And what I found will make you question everything. Keep watching because in 2 minutes I'm going to reveal the first pattern. The thing that 73% of these people experienced. The thing that connects them. Pattern 1, the date. 73 out of 100 people saw the Hat Man on specific days of the month. Not random dates. Specific ones? The 3rd. The 13th. The 23rd. Days ending in 3. I didn't ask about dates initially. But as I reviewed the interviews, I noticed this pattern. So I went back. Asked everyone for the exact date of their encounter. And the correlation was undeniable. 73% saw him on days ending in 3. The statistical probability of this being random is less than 2%. Something about those dates matters. Now, the skeptical explanation is confirmation bias. Maybe people are misremembering. Maybe they're unconsciously adjusting their memories to fit a pattern they've heard about. But here's the problem. I didn't mention the pattern until after collecting all the data. These people had no reason to lie about dates. No reason to pick the 3rd or 13th, or 23rd specifically. And many of them had documentation. Journals. Messages to friends timestamped on those nights. The dates are verified. This pattern is real. Pattern 2, the left side. 89 out of 100 people said the Hat Man appeared on the left side of their bed or room. Not the right. Not the center. The left. Specifically, in the left peripheral vision or at the left foot of the bed. This is consistent with neuroscience. The right hemisphere of your brain, which controls left side perception, is more active during REM sleep. It's also the hemisphere associated with threat detection and spatial awareness. So it makes sense that hallucinations would appear on the left. But it's still remarkable that 89% of people, without coordinating, reported the same spatial location. Pattern 3, the silence. 100 out of 100 people said the Hat Man made no sound. No footsteps. No breathing. No voice. Complete silence. This is significant because other sleep paralysis entities often have auditory components. The old hag is associated with breathing sounds. Shadow people sometimes generate whispers. But the Hat Man? Silent. Every single time. This suggests he's a purely visual hallucination. Or if he's real, he exists in a way that doesn't interact with sound. Either explanation is fascinating. Now I'm going to tell you about pattern 4. And this is where things get strange. Because this pattern has nothing to do with the encounter itself. It's about what happened after. In the days and weeks following the Hat Man's sighting. And 68 people reported the same thing. A change. A shift. Something in their lives that felt connected to seeing him. Keep watching because this is the pattern that made me question my own skepticism. Pattern 4. Life changes. 68 out of 100 people reported significant life changes within 30 days of seeing the Hat Man. Job changes. Relationship changes. Moves to new cities. Sudden decisions they couldn't fully explain. One woman quit her job of 15 years 3 days after seeing him. No plan. No backup. Just walked in and quit. Another man ended a 5-year relationship a week after the encounter. Said he suddenly realized it wasn't right. Had been thinking about it for years but couldn't pull the trigger until that week. A third person moved across the country. Sold everything. Started over. When I asked why, they said, "I don't know. After that night, everything felt different. Like I was supposed to do something. Change something." Now, the rational explanation is this. Sleep paralysis is traumatic. Seeing a terrifying entity, feeling helpless, experiencing intense fear. That trauma can trigger reevaluation. Make you question your life. Motivate change. So maybe the Hat Man isn't causing these changes. Maybe he's just a catalyst. A wake-up call. You see him, you realize life is short, you make bold decisions. Possible. But here's what bothers me. These aren't thoughtful, planned changes. They're impulsive. Sudden. Almost compulsive. People describe feeling pulled. Like they had to change something. Not wanted to. Had to. And that's different from trauma-induced growth. That's something else. Pattern 5. The follow-up visits. 34 out of 100 people said the Hat Man came back. Not once. Multiple times. Some saw him monthly. Some weekly. One person claimed to see him almost nightly for 6 months. And these repeat visitors all reported the same thing. He gets closer each time. The first visit, he's at the foot of the bed. The second, he's at the side. The third, he's standing over them. The fourth, he's inches from their face. Progressive approach. Like he's testing boundaries. Seeing how close he can get. Or building towards something. I asked the repeat visitors if they felt threatened by this escalation. Most said no. They said it felt more like observation than threat. Like he was studying them. Learning about them. One man said, "It's weird, but after the 5th time, I wasn't scared anymore. I was curious. What does he want? Why me?" And the more I watched him, the more I felt like he was asking the same questions about me. This is disturbing because it suggests a relationship. An interaction. If the Hat Man is just a hallucination, he shouldn't develop patterns. Shouldn't show progression. Each episode should be independent. But these repeat visitors describe continuity. Memory. Like the Hat Man remembers them. Recognizes them. And adjusts his behavior based on previous encounters. That's not how hallucinations work. That's how entities work. Pattern 6. The shared details. This is the most specific pattern. And the one that's hardest to explain scientifically. 41 out of 100 people describe the exact same detail about the Hat Man that's never mentioned in popular descriptions. They said his coat moved slightly. Like a breeze was blowing it. But there was no breeze. No air movement. Just the coat moving gently. Swaying. I didn't prompt this detail. I didn't ask about it. These 41 people volunteered it independently. And when I went back to the other 59 and asked specifically, 12 more said, "Yes, now that you mention it, I think the coat was moving." So 53 out of 100 people noticed this detail. A detail that's not part of the common Hat Man description. A detail that shouldn't be consistent across independent hallucinations. If the Hat Man is generated by individual brains, why do so many people add this specific detail? Coats moving in non-existent wind? It's too specific to be coincidence. Too consistent to be random neural firing. This is either cultural contamination from a source I haven't found, or it's evidence that people are seeing something real. Something external. Something with a coat that moves. Now I'm going to tell you about the 3 outliers. The 3 people whose experiences didn't fit any pattern. Whose encounters were so different, so unique, that they challenge everything I thought I understood about the Hat Man. Keep watching because these 3 cases will make you reconsider what's possible. Outlier 1, the Speaking Hat Man. One woman, 34 years old, from Australia said the Hat Man spoke to her. This is the only report out of 100 where he made any sound. She said he leaned close, and she heard a voice in her head. Not audible. Telepathic. He said 3 words. Not yet, wait. Then vanished. She's never seen him again. She has no idea what it means. Not yet for what? Wait for what? She's been waiting 5 years. Nothing has happened. Nothing has changed. But she remembers those words. Not yet, wait. The scientific explanation is that this was a different type of hallucination. Auditory along with visual. The brain generating both. But why these specific words? Why not yet? What is she supposedly waiting for? And if it's just her subconscious, what is her subconscious trying to tell her? She says she thinks about it constantly. Waiting for some event. Some revelation. Some explanation. But nothing comes. And the Hat Man never returns. Outlier 2, the Daylight Hat Man. One man, 28 years old, from Canada, saw the Hat Man during the day. He wasn't sleeping. Wasn't in bed. He was walking to work. Morning. Full daylight. And he saw him. Standing across the street. Same hat. Same coat. Same height. But it was daytime. And he wasn't paralyzed. He could move. Could walk. And he stared at the figure for maybe 10 seconds. Then a car passed. Blocked his view. And when the car passed, the Hat Man was gone. This is the only daytime sighting in my dataset. And it challenges the entire sleep paralysis framework. If the Hat Man is a REM atonia hallucination, how can he appear when someone is fully awake and mobile? The rational explanation is that this was a different entity. A person who happened to look similar. Or a hallucination caused by stress or fatigue. But the description matches perfectly. And this man had never heard of the Hat Man before this encounter. Didn't know what he'd seen until he researched it later. Found descriptions online. Realized it was the same entity. So either he had a waking hallucination that coincidentally matched a common sleep paralysis entity, or the Hat Man exists outside of sleep paralysis. Can appear in any state. At any time. And that's terrifying. Outlier 3, the Child's Hat Man. One mother, 42 years old, from the UK, said her 6-year-old daughter drew a picture of the Hat Man. The child had never experienced sleep paralysis. Had never heard of the Hat Man. But one day, she drew a tall figure in a hat and coat. Black and white. Standing at the end of a bed. The mother asked, "What's this?" The daughter said, "The man who watches people sleep." The mother was disturbed. Asked where she'd seen this. The daughter said, "I just know. He's real." The mother showed me the drawing. It's crude, as children's drawings are. But the proportions match. The hat. The coat. The posture. It's the Hat Man drawn by a child who's never seen him. The skeptical explanation is that the child saw something online. A movie. A video. An image. And internalized it. Or the mother is misremembering. Projecting the Hat Man onto an innocent drawing. But the mother swears the child had no exposure. And the drawing, which I have a copy of, is remarkably accurate to common descriptions. So either this is an impossible coincidence, or children can perceive the Hat Man without experiencing sleep paralysis. Without being in the right brain state. They just know. And that's the most disturbing possibility of all. Here's what I concluded from 100 interviews. The Hat Man is consistent. Too consistent to be random. The patterns are real. The dates. The location. The silence. The moving coat. These aren't flukes. These aren't coincidences. Something is happening here that we don't fully understand. Either mass cultural contamination on a scale we've never seen before, or the Hat Man is more than a hallucination. He's something else. Something that appears across independent brains with identical features. And that shouldn't be possible. But it is possible. It's happening. 100 people. 100 consistent stories. And thousands more out there who haven't been interviewed. Who've seen the same thing. Described the same entity. Felt the same presence. So what is he? I don't know. But I'll tell you what I think. I think the Hat Man is an archetype. A figure so deeply embedded in human psychology that he manifests almost identically across different people. He represents the unknown. The watcher. The observer. The thing in the dark that sees you but you can't see it. And during sleep paralysis, when your brain is vulnerable and searching for threats, it pulls this archetype from deep storage. Shows it to you. Makes it real. But there's another possibility. One I can't dismiss after these interviews. What if the Hat Man is aware? What if he knows he's being seen? And what if somehow, through mechanisms we don't understand, he's choosing who to visit? Appearing to specific people on specific dates for specific reasons? The life changes. The progressive visits. The telepathic message. These suggest intelligence. Purpose. Awareness. And if he's aware, then he's not a hallucination. He's something else. Something real. Something that exists in a space between hallucination and entity. Between brain-generated and externally real. I don't expect you to believe this. I don't fully believe it myself. But I can't ignore the data. 100 interviews. Patterns that shouldn't exist. Details that shouldn't be consistent. And the nagging feeling that these people saw something. Something more than neurons firing. Something that watches. Waits. Appears. And changes lives. If you've seen the Hat Man, I want to hear from you. Drop your story in the comments. Be specific. Date. Location. Details. Add to the data. Because the more reports we have, the closer we get to understanding what he is. Hallucination or entity. Brain-generated or externally real. The answer is in the patterns. And we're just beginning to see them. My next video will be different. It will be about what happens when you stop fearing the entities. When you accept them. Welcome them. Try to communicate. Because some people do this. They turn sleep paralysis into a practice. A tool. A doorway. And what they discover on the other side is stranger than anything I've covered so far. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Sleep well. Watch for patterns. And remember, if you see the Hat Man, you're part of something bigger. Something that connects 100 people. Maybe thousands. Maybe millions. And together, we're going to figure out what it means. I'll see you in the comments. And maybe in the data.